Just won't work you out. I am ready for your action. Just won't work you out. You should cut off all distraction. It's all on you.
Welcome back. Today's Workers' Day, and we're going to be talking now about jobs, basically. It was one of the hot topics for hot campaign topics during the elections. Mr. President did make a few promises with regards to that. I have here with me Employable Dari. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having
to
me.
talk about all of this. It's probably one of the biggest issues in Nigeria today. We talk about insecurity, and most times we tie it back to the fact that there's no employment. That's why people tend to do that. So a lot of our issues are tied to the fact that there are no jobs. What's your take on the situation Nigeria is in currently?
Okay, well, I guess we can all agree that unemployment is a big issue in Nigeria. You just talked about it. You can link it to insecurity. You can link it to the brain drain where so many people are leaving the country. And you can also link it to the fact that there's unrest because people can see that employers go outside Nigeria a lot these days to get graduates, and you're thinking, but we don't have enough jobs here. How come you're employing people from outside Nigeria? The truth is that there's so much more that can be done in the area of employment and employability. People talk a lot about the fact that employers have unrealistic expectations, talk about the fact that the graduates are not employable, and it all boils down to a couple of things, which I'm sure we're going to talk about today, but the major one is that there needs to be that link between what the employers are looking for and what the graduates are coming out of school with. And that's a big, big issue that we have in Nigeria right now.
You talk about unemployable, and that's one word I've always found very interesting. What does that really mean when someone is unemployable?
So it's like a buzzword. So many people say Nigerian graduates are unemployable. I usually don't agree, because everybody is employable, but what are you employable for? Are you employable in the kind of job that you want, or are you employable in something that you feel is beneath you? So being employable simply means that you have skills to offer. Now, a lot of Nigerian graduates, and the reason why employers are really the ones who are always guilty of saying the graduates are not employable, what they're just trying to say is, I am not finding it easy to get the skills that I'm looking for whenever I recruit and whenever I'm trying to employ people. So that's what employability really is about, is demand and supply. You could have excellent skills, but if nobody needs those skills, you become unemployable.
We'll come back to the jobs now. I want to talk about our educational system now, because I've been around people who have been on interview panels a lot, and they have almost the same complaints. So you see a graduate who has a first-class degree, and they come in and you wonder, how come you know nothing about your area of specialization? How much is our educational institutions to be blamed for?
A lot, okay? Because there's a rigidity about the way the university curriculum is developed, or the way it is distributed or given to the students. Now, the truth of the matter is, when it comes to employability, what we do is basically employability. And we've tried to work with a lot of universities to say, employability is not even a static thing. Because what employers want today will be very different from what they want tomorrow, based on the business environment. So if the university curriculum takes ages to upgrade and update, by the time you are adding ICT to your curriculum, ICT has already moved, because when the process was initiated, ICT meant one thing. And then now maybe everybody's looking for artificial intelligence, and you're just figuring out how to put in the latest programming language or something into your curriculum. So for me, the educational institutions are too rigid, and they're not fluid enough to provide those skills that are continuously changing as the business environment.
How can we fix that? Because I think I've heard this for a long time.
Yeah.
Even when I was in school, I know I have said this on this show before. I had a computer course, I think, in my second year. Even though I studied law, it was a mandatory course to take. And I didn't say computer for one day. It was all theory.
Exactly.
And this was in the 2000s. It was at a time when you would have thought computers would be everywhere.
Exactly.
So, and I don't know if that is still happening, but I'm sure
it is. I can
people
assure
still
you that
have those
yes.
kind of stories.
Yes,
so how can we start fixing that? Is it a money issue? Is it a mentality issue?
I wouldn't say it's the money issue. I'll say it's the will. The will from the people who can really make the change. Now, we train graduates, and I get graduates every day who come into the training and have not seen a computer, even today. And you're asking them to type a Word document, and they can't. So which organization are you going to work in
First of all.
where you will not use a computer? Now, the will is, for example, on this employability issue, we did a lot of advocacy at some point, about 2 years ago. We went to NUC to tell them, okay, we had developed this employability skills curriculum, and we are willing to work with Nigerian universities to get this curriculum as part of the educational system. Whatever, I mean, as long as there's, but you know, we got this part on the back endorsement, whoa, this curriculum is excellent, and then from NUC, we just got this letter to the university saying, please, would you like to work with this? We are endorsing it. You know, there's no will to actually make it happen. And it is it's a huge system. There are many moving wheels. So yes, I can imagine that, you know, making this type of change will take a lot from the government, but it's needed. Because at the end of the day, we just have to, we now in Nigeria really strongly depend on intervention programs. So you have to actually finish school and then go look for a place like POISE or wherever to learn employability before you can now apply for any good job. But it shouldn't be the case. You should be able to just graduate and have the skills. So the will to actually go through that process is what's lacking.
You do train graduates, like you said, to make them employable. What are some of the biggest, what are the biggest issues you find with graduates when they come to you?
Okay, the biggest issues I would say is, I like to use this term, saying somebody lied. Yeah? So everybody tells you as a young person, I'm sure you heard this, just go to school, get a good grade, and you get a job. You know the song, Batami Adu Koko. All I need to do is read my books. And
that'll be great.
But you know, the head knowledge doesn't actually give you everything you need. So the graduates, you find people who are passionate, who are hardworking, who studied hard in school. You talked about the first class graduate who comes to the interview and you're wondering, you have a first class. So nobody really tells them that there's more beyond the book knowledge. You have to develop your soft skills. You have to be a problem solver. You need to develop your creativity. You need to know how to hustle. You need to be street smart. So that's one big thing I find, especially with those who have very good grades. I find that they live in this bubble where they think, oh, come on, I'm out now. Where are they? Chase me jobs. Where are you? And then they become discouraged. So that's one issue. But then on the other side of the spectrum, I also find a lot of people with the wrong attitude, the get-rich-quick attitude. I resume work today. The MD is driving a Jeep, so why should I have to come with a bus? You know, everybody wants to climb the ladder, fly up the ladder. We don't want to climb the ladder anymore, fly up the ladder. And that makes it a little bit difficult for them to really get themselves together to learn before they earn. You know, the focus is always, I want to just get money. But you won't also blame them because the environment, the hardships that they're going through, they probably have so many people depending on them. So it's a mindset thing, and it has to start right from school. It's very unfair for somebody to graduate and then discover that so much is missing. Yeah.